Tortilla Joe.
Tortilla Joe.
Tortilla Joe. Drop it. He said, come on me. I drop a tortilla in the hot dog. Welcome to another Park Hopper show with Paul and Jenna and Maggie and a squirrel. And today we're going to talk about Disneyland.
Yay!
And Jenna's going to lead us off because, again, she is the world traveler and the land traveler in this case.
The land traveler. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Disneyland. So, Paul, our family went to Disneyland. When was it? Last spring break, right before COVID.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's been so long. 12 years ago before
feels like it.
Everything went awry. That is pathetic.
Oh, this dog. So, okay, last year we went beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
Our family did a couple nights in LA where we did like the Warner Brothers tour. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we did the Griffin Observatory, which was a very packed crowd. So crowded.
Mm-hmm. Then you flew back to your home and
then Louisville
talked to everybody and we all got sick. And I mean, I'm not going to say you're at fault, but it seems very questionable. What is the Griffin Observatory?
It's like it's up on a hill, not really a mountain, but have you seen?
What do you look at?
You see Hollywood. It's like up and you can see aerial views of the area, and they have a telescope to see the moon, and people like pack picnics and sit out there and they play live music. What's that movie? Where they dance.
Footloose.
No. What's the movie?
Step it up to the streets.
Shoot.
Dirty Dancing.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Havana Nights.
The movie that took place at the
Center
observatory.
Stage. I know lots of dancing movies.
Is it Ryan Gosling and what's her name are in it? And
Drive.
They have a lot of movies together. Anyways, there's
Ryan Gosling and what's her name? You're talking about that one where they're singing the whole
Yes, they made that musical and they danced. Oh gosh. Anyways,
you go about your business. I'll look it up. People are screaming
that
at their
took place
radios
there, so you
right
could
now.
walk over where they danced out in the moonlight and all that stuff. So we did that. We did the Warner Brothers tour.
What do you do there? Could I sound less interested?
What do you do there? So we toured. I got to see.
Were the Animaniacs there?
The Gilmore Girls set and the Friends
Lorelai
set. Lorelai wasn't there, but it was really neat how it showed like this one house. The front of it was her house, and the back of it was Suki's house, her friend Suki.
Yeah.
And so it was
Melissa
the same
McCarthy,
house.
who's very famous now.
Exactly.
La La Land.
La La Land. Thank you. It had the L. I couldn't. La La Land. So La La Land took place at the observatory. And then you can get your picture with like the Hollywood sign in the background and all that stuff. The Warner Brothers tour had like the Batman garage with all the cars, and
What is that?
it's this warehouse
Oh,
with all the Batmobiles.
I was like, there's no such thing in the movies as the Batman garage. That's
no,
what I
it's
didn't know
like
what you were saying. Okay.
And then they had stuff from the Harry Potter movies you could look at. They had the staircase from Friends when they go to prom. I know how you feel about Friends. I was totally geeking out. You could sit on the couch.
Staircase from, I don't understand what was going on at prom.
So one of the Friends episodes when Rachel, they were in high school and they were going to prom, and Rachel went to Ross's house because she was friends with Monica.
Oh, okay.
And Ross comes down the steps and he's real nervous.
Was there like a VHS part of that show where they were like filming like their home movies? I feel like I
Yes,
remember part
yes,
of this. Okay.
yes. Okay, so the dad had his camera and stuff. So there's that staircase.
Will you shut up?
Maggie. You could sit on the couch that's in the opening scene of Friends. So anyways, the Warner Brothers tour was a lot of fun. So we did that for a few nights.
What a treat.
What are you laughing
The couch,
at?
sitting on the couch that's in the opening scene. It's just funny.
It is fun.
Out by the pond or the fountain?
Yes.
Yeah. You spin an umbrella and get a bowl cut and a vest. That's the only way to do it. All right.
Was fun.
Well, that sounds like a good time.
And so then we had rented a car and we went to Anaheim, and my parents went with us. So it was the four of us and my parents, and we got this room. I got a really good deal in this room. It was amazing. So the girls it was like a 3-bedroom connecting suite is what they called it. Mm-hmm. So the girls had their own room, like their own hotel room, 2 queens, their own bathroom. That had a connecting door to Austin and our room, with a king bed, a couch. It was like a little suite. And then we had this shut-off hallway that connected to my parents' room that was a full suite with a kitchen and everything. And a living room. So we were all connected, but you go down to the end of the hallway and it was like double doors open to our whole end of the hallway. It was so nice. And
this has been Humble Brag Corner about Jenna.
It was a perfect setup for what we had going on. And so we could all go sit in the living room. My mom and dad had their separate area. We had a kitchen. It was just, it was great. So this was at the Disneyland Hotel. So, yes. So
you lost that. You
I didn't say that yet. Yes. I was so excited about that suite. So Disneyland has 3 main hotels.
Okay.
But then they have a ton of good neighbor hotels. So all around the area, you have these Hyatts and DoubleTrees and all these places you can stay and still pretty much walk to the park.
Yeah.
But the 3 Disneyland hotels, you have the Grand Californian, which is like their top.
Like the Grand Floridian, but in California.
It is, except the theming is completely different.
Because it's a different state. Hello. Hello.
Maggie, you are being stinker. So the Grand Californian is a deluxe. It's very, very nice, but it has like a woodsy cabin theme to it. She's obsessed with you today.
She's fine.
So they have that hotel. They have where we stayed, the Disneyland Hotel, which is just kind of a classic modern theme. I kind of like the contemporary. They have a big Mickey pool, and they have water slides, and just the entrance is like the big Mickey hat. It's just classic and so fun. And then they have Paradise Pier.
What's the big Mickey hat?
Like the sorcerer hat.
Okay.
So you can like stand under there and take your picture.
But yes, I know what you're saying. Okay.
And then Paradise Pier is the lower end of price range, and it's just still super nice.
Barrel fires out in front of it.
You can. It has views of the park. You can walk right into the park from Paradise Pier. So all 3 of those are great hotel options right there. Like Disneyland Hotel, you walk through the pool.
You walk through the pool?
You don't walk through the pool. You walk through the pool area. And when you get through your pool area, you're in downtown Disney.
Oh.
And then you walk through downtown Disney, and you have the entrance to Disneyland over here and the entrance to California Adventures Park over here.
Yeah.
So once you're at your hotel, you are not on any transportation. No buses, none of that. They do have a monorail that takes you from downtown Disney into Disneyland Park.
Okay.
Like into kind of in the middle of the park. But other than that, everything is walking. It was so nice. It was very laid back. Their fast pass system is different. I don't know how that's going to be now with COVID, but it was like the old way of Disney World where you would book your fast passes throughout the day. Yeah. So it wasn't super planned. We did plan out some dinner reservations, but really you just show up, you book yourself a fast pass, and the fast passes are available all day. So the big rides, you can ride them over and over. You're not just knocking it off once a day. You're riding them over and over. So we really liked that aspect. It just felt like a slower pace, laid back. If you need to go back to your hotel, it's a 5-minute walk. So we did. We went back and forth a lot. We went back and forth between the parks a lot. Walk out of one park and into the other park.
So you can just roll into the parks?
Mm-hmm. If you have that kind of ticket, you know.
But I mean, so like you can literally park hop from like next door?
Literally just right across a little... I don't know what
Promenade.
Promenade. Not a parking lot, not a road.
Not the pool.
Just right across the concrete to the other entrance. So Disneyland really won us over. It is Paul's. You are not Walt Disney.
That's true.
It's Walt's original. So it has his footprints all over it. It opened in 1955. And we did the Walk in Walt's Footsteps tour. And that was so fun. It was just a small group of people. We had a private tour around the park. And the highlight of the tour was ending in Walt's apartment. Oh. And it was so sweet. So when you walk into Disneyland Park, you know, like Disney World, you have the town hall and the fire station right there. So at the top of the fire station was his apartment. Mm-hmm. And that's where his family would stay if they were coming for a few nights or whatever. And so it's literally set up the way they had it when they died.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to touch anything. There's one corner where they'll let you take your picture.
But other than that, outline. They don't touch it.
No, there's no chalk outline.
Okay. Well, you said they didn't touch it after he died. I didn't know.
But it shows like they had these two couches that had like trundle beds under them, and so they all slept there. Their grandkids would sleep there. Oh. I mean, it's real small and quaint, and had like old appliances in it. And it's just so sweit. Yeah. And it has the lamp. Do you know about the lamp?
The haunted lamp.
Not the haunted lamp.
I mean, it comes on because it's haunted.
Not by itself. So
what?
When he was in the park, they would light the lamp in the window.
Well, we heard on YouTube that sometimes that light comes on its own. Ooh. And they think it's Walt in the window, but unconfirmed.
Interesting.
That's why I thought it was haunted. I'm sorry, we were going different places with that story, but
that's funny.
I definitely have heard that.
I had not heard that. No. So if he was in the park, they would light the lantern in the window, and that would tell all the cast members that Walt was there.
Step it up.
Step it up.
Put your phones away.
Your A game.
Walt's here. Debbie's here. We got to come on.
So now they leave that lantern lit all the time. And I think they did throughout COVID when they were shut down, too.
Oh, well.
I know. So...
who's to say it was all walled off? You couldn't see inside. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Just
So,
making conversation. I apologize.
When we left, 2 weeks later, Disneyland shut down. And...
they said, we'll never have a guest as good as the Railey family. And...
we're done.
We had a good run. 50, 60 years, whatever. But wrap it up.
They're opening up the end of the month to
April.
California residents.
Check local listings. It's April.
Oh, yes, it is April. So today is, April 12th, I think. Starting April 15th, we can book Disneyland. So,
but is that for California residents only?
As of now, it's just for California residents. They have not confirmed when that will change, but I do have California friends ready to go. So I am ready for April 15th to get them booked. I'm just so excited that it's opening back up, and they have made some changes. They've made some improvements. Did you see Marvel Campus?
I saw it's coming in June.
Yeah.
That's all I got. I don't know. I don't know what Marvel Campus is.
Are y'all Marvel fans?
They're fine.
Yeah. We need to watch more of them. But I am excited about Marvel Campus. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The Spider-Man ride, and they already have Guardians of the Galaxy, which is like Tower of Terror.
It looks very similar to Tower of Terror from the outside, almost like they took that building and put future stuff on it.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
So,
I was.
So it used to be Tower of Terror until
a
few years ago, and then they. Okay.
For all of you rubes that don't know about Disney like we do, I knew.
Good job. So, Disneyland Park. Let's go there. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was the original park, 1955. Let's go.
See y'all later.
I did see a video today that the railroad was running for the first time.
Is there a railroad there?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a railroad, just like in Disney World, and it runs around the front of the park. And they had that running today.
Does that railroad still go around Disney? Did we talk about Disney?
Yes,
okay.
yes, it does.
All right.
So that's exciting. That's a step.
Well, I only know about Disneyland from the Xbox 360 game with the Kinect camera, and you could walk through it.
Well, that's fun.
In theory, it's fun. It's that camera, so you have to like
those
go forward, and then you're like, I'm going
games,
right.
I cannot do those.
Then you're throwing a snowball, and then your dog comes in the picture, and then it picks up the dog, and it's like second player, and you're like, no, it's a dog.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, but it looks fun even from there.
It is. So Disneyland Park is kind of like your Magic Kingdom. That's where Sleeping Beauty's castle is, not Cinderella's castle, which is super small.
Well, Sleeping Beauty, she didn't need much room. She was sleeping, so it was fun. She just needed a big bed.
When you walk down Main Street, you're kind of like, oh, is that it down here?
Well, L.A. prices.
I see the castle.
I mean, cost per square foot, she's probably doing better to keep it,
So you have that, and then you have a lot of the similar rides that you have in Magic Kingdom. The Haunted Mansion, which the outside of the Haunted Mansion is way better than the one in Magic Kingdom.
Well,
it's
I know my favorite is the outside of all. You spend more time on the outside waiting in line, so
and they always change that for the holidays. They'll change it for Halloween, and they'll change it for Christmas. And then you have Astro Orbiter, you have Big Thunder Mountain.
These all sound very familiar.
You have the Davy Crockett log ride. I thought you would like that.
Yeah.
Not
Jungle
this,
Cruise.
not Jungle
Log
ride. You have Peter Pan, Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones, which is not a show.
That ride looks super fun.
It is like the dinosaur ride at Animal Kingdom. It's the same.
We've not done that, but we've seen that on YouTube. The Indiana Jones ride looks super fun.
We didn't get to do it.
Well, they used to drop liquid ice things. We know a bunch of stuff that Disney doesn't do anymore. My child is obsessed with Disney YouTube, so.
And they don't have Hall of Presidents, but they do have the Mr. Lincoln Show, which is pretty neat.
Hall of President. They just have the
Hall of President.
They're like, you all mostly like this guy, right? It's fine.
We'll consolidate down to him. And the Disneyland Park is now where Star Wars is. So they have this pretty much the same Star Wars land that Hollywood Studios has. And that's actually where we rode Rise of the Resistance. The first time was in Disneyland Park. We rode it 2 or 3 times. So that was at the time when you had to be in the park to book your boarding pass. So the trick at the time was to book yourself an early dining reservation. Well, we had the tour booked to start that morning. So we got to get into the park early. We passed up this line that was probably an hour-and-a-half line to get into the park. We walked right by them. Yeah. And we went up to the gate, and we were like, we have a tour that starts soon, and we need to go ahead and get in and be ready. And they let us right in. We felt so bad. But then we were in, and we were in our little area where we were supposed to meet for the tour, and this man came out, this cast member, I think he was probably some kind of manager, supervisor, and he showed us how to book the boarding pass, and he was giving us all these tips, and then he stood there with us while we did it, and it was so exciting. And I think we got like boarding group 4 or something. It was good. And so we were all screaming and so excited.
And they were like, we're trying to go on a tour, and you're like, no. We're going to
ride. Also, we had another cast member who was like supervisor of rides.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's definitely a thing.
I don't know what his job was, but he would basically walk around and make sure everything was running smoothly as far as the rides go. Well,
and you were like, Davy Crockett's a little bit like this. It should be more. He's like, I'm on it.
So we sat and talked to him, or he came up and talked to us, and we were telling him it's our first time. I think we had our first time buttons and stuff. And
so cute.
He walked us around and got us on like 6 rides. Just took us to the front of the lines and got us right on. Would wait for us at the end of the ride and take us to another ride. It was amazing. So little things like that, I think, happen more in Disneyland. It's smaller. You just get little, touches of magic there. Characters just kind of walk around. Yeah. And, they'll come by and hold your kid's hand and swing in the air and just play.
And one day they will again, but right now.
Yeah, probably not for a while.
Just touch the child.
They have their rubber gloves on.
Their 4-finger rubber gloves.
So it just was really...
Say it. Magic.
It was nostalgic.
Oh.
And I think that's my favorite word with Disneyland. Like, you can just feel Walt there. It just feels like...
Haunted.
It's not haunted.
You could feel him. It's cold spots here and there. It was nice. No, it always looks super fun whenever I see it on TV.
In 2001, they opened California Adventure Park.
Oh, that was good timing for theme parks. So, what a great podcast.
Great, big, beautiful podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, you're going to
California Adventure Park.
Here. So there's another park.
Yes.
Right
so
across
in 19,
the parking lot.
No, 19.
19 and 2001.
2001, they opened a second park, California Adventure Park, right across the concrete from Disneyland.
She's had enough.
So California Adventure Park is really fun. It has a lot of things that Disney World does not have. Pixar Pier. Okay, Pixar Pier is so fun. I mean, you love Pixar, right? I love Pixar.
Stay tuned to the next episode.
Yeah,
we'll
we've got another episode coming on Pixar. But I love Pixar.
Yeah.
Up and the feelings, I always Inside Out.
It's a lot of feelings,
Toy Story. So Pixar Pier is, you have a bridge, and then you have the Ferris wheel in the background.
That's what you see, the picture when you're like, oh, castle, Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
I
with a Mickey in the middle.
Shown some of my pictures.
Well, it is a podcast, so it's mostly audio only, but she's making a circle with her hands in case you're just listening.
Now, the Ferris wheel, you can do a regular seat or a swinging seat.
Well,
not my thing. I don't even like Ferris wheels. I do not like Ferris wheels. But if you want to take a Ferris wheel up a notch, you can get a swinging seat to go up and around.
No, I don't. I hate it so much. I don't like a Ferris wheel.
You don't like them either?
Well, the ones here are fun, but my youngest is a little erratic, let's say. And the ones that are local theme park definitely had a spot big enough on the side where she could just go whoop right out of the side. And I had a bad time on it. And
I can't.
I have a lot of anxiety.
Yes. Now, I think these are enclosed.
Well, that's good.
But still not my thing. And then on the pier, they have Incredicoaster.
Well, that is quite a name. Is that based on the movie The Incredibles?
It is. So it's Mrs. Incredible stretching. So
that's uncomfortable. I don't like that. We'll talk about that in the next podcast. I have lots of thoughts about Mrs. Incredible.
So I didn't write it. Austin and my mom wrote it because it does go upside down and stuff.
Aren't they so cute?
They are.
Well,
they really like the ride rides.
We'll
together.
cut this out and see what I've heard. We're not cutting it out. All right, go ahead.
All right, so you have that. You have an Inside Out ride. The Feelings ride. You have, I'm trying to think what else is over there. You can get really cute Pixar ice creams that are yellow and blue and have all the Pixar colors.
Is it all Pixar themed?
That area.
Oh, okay.
Just that area. Yeah. Also in California Adventures Park, the best. Cars Land.
Oh.
It is so fun.
We'll have some thoughts on Cars coming up too.
Oh man, that's gonna be a good episode. Cars Land, fun. Especially you want to make sure you're there at dusk. When the lights go down, all the fluorescent lights turn on, and you feel like you're in the movie. The music's playing, the fluorescent lights are flashing.
What songs do they play from Cars?
The Life is a Highway.
Oh no! Is that all on the loop?
It's
a small world. That's driving people crazy.
They have. There's so many good songs in Cars.
I know Life.
I can't think of them though.
Well, Life is a Highway is good.
Well, just imagine driving down Route 66. You know, that's what it feels like. You have like a Mater's truck ride where you're riding a little Mater truck.
That
tow truck.
That sounds wonderful. There'll be a whole generation of kids that'll call that a Mater truck.
Mater's junkyard.
When your kids,
and that changes with the holidays too.
When your kids get a flat tire, they're like, oh, you'll call AAA or should I just get the Mater truck to come get us? You're like, oh, you went to Disney a lot as a child.
Mama's got Mater on speed dial.
Oh, whoa.
Luigi's.
Oh, I like that.
That's a little car ride that spins and they dance.
That was my favorite part of the Cars movie.
Luigi's.
Yeah.
And the best, the Lightning McQueen ride. I just lost the name of it.
You can tell us anything I've never been.
Come on, what is the name?
Lightning McQueen.
I didn't even write it down because I didn't. I was like, I'll remember that. Can I look it up?
I don't care. I've been.
Radiator Springs. It hit me. Radiator Springs is so fun. So you're in
That's the name of the ride?
Yeah. Oh. You're in a race. And
that can't be
there's
the name of the
two lanes, 2 cars going, and you go into the body shop and you get all this work done and you get ready for the race, and then they line up and they take off, and it's so fun. So people compare it to Test Track, but it's not the stop and go like Test Track. It's actually like a race. There's several hills. What are you looking at?
You go about your business. There's no way that's the name of that ride.
Okay. So there's probably 3 hills, and then there's a big hill, and that's where they take your picture.
Oh.
And poor Stella. Have you seen our pictures from that ride?
No.
Oh, man. She looks like she's being tortured. But so we kept riding it over and over to try to get a good picture.
Well, maybe she was being tortured.
So we were like, okay, you know when the hill is, smile. So finally, we were able to get a good posing picture on the big hill.
Oh. It's Radiator Springs Racers.
Racers,
which
okay.
makes more sense.
Radiator Springs Racers. Uh-oh, she heard me talking about her. We're talking about your face on
We are not. I'm
Radiator
listening
Springs.
about your face.
So Radiator Springs is probably like one of the top rides there, and usually the line is no more than an hour, but you can book fast passes for it all day. So it's we had days where we rode it several times in one day. And we would get off, go do something, and get right back on. It was so
Stella
fun.
was like, I just hate you all.
She loved it. She just couldn't figure out how to control her face on that hill.
Well, also, Cars, Pixar, what non-Pixar stuff we got? The Disneyland Adventure, California.
So we're going to have, that's where Marvel will be, and they already have Guardians of the Galaxy.
The Marvel campus will be part of California Adventure?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's where the Guardians of the Galaxy is. You have a Grizzly River ride. You have...
What is that?
It's like a...
Oh man, for people just listening, they're missing out on a lot.
A raft, kind of like the rapids. The rapids, right? Duh.
I'm sorry, you're right. Pictionary or whatever.
Toy Story, you have there. The Little Mermaid ride, which is a lot like the one in Disney World.
But that's the California Adventure? That's weird. All right.
So I always think, if you take the 4 parks in Disney World and split them between 2, most people think you're going to Disneyland and there's not as much to do. I could be wrong. I really think there are, if you list out the attractions, I think there are more in Disneyland than Disney World.
Okay.
And it's basically taking the 4 parks, dividing them into 2. So you have some Magic Kingdom stuff, you have some Hollywood Studios stuff, and then you have some Animal Kingdom type things. And Epcot, you've got the Nemo and things like that. The Nemo ride, I think that's at Disneyland, is the old submarine.
The 20,000 Leagues.
So that was another thing we think about now. We were down in the submarine, and you're right next to people.
Yeah.
Down in this
bunch of filthy
hot submarine.
Breathing all of your air.
Underwater.
She's tearing up a pillow.
Yeah, she's okay. So a lot of these things obviously will have to change for quite a while, but yeah.
I wouldn't go in a submarine on a good day. I don't know. It doesn't sound like a fun.
It wasn't that
smelly.
Great.
It seems like
it used to be, what is that? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and that used to be in Disney World.
Yeah.
And then they moved it out there, and then they changed. It was 20,000 Leagues for a while, and then they changed it to Nemo.
I think Uncle Jesse and Joey were there doing their radio show. Full House. They were swimming under there.
Funny.
Danny was just trying to propose to his girlfriend, and they just kept showing up.
Interesting. I don't remember.
I apologize. Please. All right.
Don't remember that.
Disneyland.
So that's kind of we didn't name every ride, but that gives you an idea.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, we are very. Check your local area. We are in Kentucky, and we are Florida people because Florida is closer, and it's quite a haul if you're driving. It's not bad in a plane. Is it? If you could only go to one, is there a line in the country where you would say it's easier to go, it's worth it to go to Disneyland than to Disney World?
Oh.
Or is Disneyland worth it for everybody, even if you were like in New York or Virginia and you had to go
fly all day? Yes, yes.
Okay,
that's my answer.
Is it like a...
I mean, I think it's a completely different experience than Disney World.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, my whole family actually liked it better.
No.
And like you said, we are an hour and 45-minute flight to Disney World. And so that it's easier to go there. We flew to Texas and then flew to California. But Louisville, and I think this is happening more in our region, are starting to get more direct flights to California.
If you can get a direct flight to California, that's the one you want. The only time I was in LA, I had to go to like Atlanta or somewhere, and then to Texas, and it was terrible.
We had 2 flights, but they do have direct flights now. One of my best friends lives in LA, and but her family lives here, so she flies back and forth all the time. So I'm always texting her on the best flight deals. And
is it Scarlett Johansson?
No. But Nashville actually has a direct flight, and I think Cincinnati has a direct flight.
I was like, well, that doesn't do us any good, but I understand what you're saying.
Well,
so big places have direct flights to California now.
Yeah. And so also there's the big LAX airport, but then there are several little airports. LAX is a big airport, and there's a lot going on. So when we flew home, we went to a smaller airport. It wasn't John Wayne. That is one of the airports. I can't remember. It was a really small airport, and that was so nice. It was very laid back, and it was the first time we saw people wearing masks. So we were sitting in the airport, and we were just sitting there, and we saw these people with masks on. And we didn't know what was going on.
Sharing a bag of popcorn with your neighbor.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, look at these weirdos. Yeah, and then...
No, I started coughing about a week after I got home.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think I had it. Yeah, it's that observatory.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. It wasn't Disney World. It was
the observatory. So, and Disney, the other thing about Disneyland, it's kind of in the middle of a city. It's in Anaheim, and you literally walk off of the campus and you're in downtown Anaheim.
Oh.
It's not the best area.
Listen, here's a hot take. California is trash. Disneyland sounds pretty cool, and there's probably some spots, but California looks cool when they talk about it in the movies. But if you go to California...
We were not fans of LA.
That's kind of
LA was not our favorite.
No.
But...
what do you think? Okay, go ahead.
Once we drove to our Disneyland hotel, we never left again. So my point being, there are several good neighbor resorts around that are great resorts and affordable, but then do you want to deal with the city bus and walking and all that stuff?
The answer is no. What about the Cecil Hotel? Can you get a good deal?
The what?
The Cecil Hotel.
What is that?
Are you unaware of that? Okay. It's on Netflix.
I don't know what that is.
It's the hotel where they found the girl in the water tank in the top.
Lovely.
It's big news on Netflix, so.
No, I don't know anything.
We'll talk off air.
Okay. So, downtown Disney. So that, we used to have downtown Disney and Disney World. Now it's called Disney Springs. In Disneyland, it's still called downtown Disney, and that is super fun. You've got the shops, music, magic shows, and really good restaurants. Dining is a little different. Their quick service food in Disneyland is a lot better than the quick service food in Disney World. So you're not going to eat burgers and fries all day long. They have a lot of other good options.
You don't tell me what I'm going to do because That's what I do when I go on vacation. But
then they have some great dinner places too. We ate dinner at Carthay Circle, which is the like imitation of the Carthay Circle Theater.
You're saying this like
where,
I know. You don't know what the Cecil Hotel is, but I know what Carthay Circle is.
I think that's where Walt first showed Snow White. It's at the Carthay Circle Theater. So this restaurant is beautiful. We ate there one night. That was probably our most expensive meal. Austin was like, I think that was toward the end of our trip. He was like, I'm going to get cheese sticks.
And then you called your credit card company and said, fraud, we didn't eat there. And then you got it for free, right? Because that's what...
Fabulous.
If you listen to previous episodes, scammers.
We have gotten free meals before. Best old-fashioned I've ever had in my whole life.
Best old-fashioned what? Are you talking about booze?
We're in Kentucky, so yes, I'm talking about bourbon.
I really don't know what old-fashioned is.
An old-fashioned is like, it's a bourbon drink with orange and cherry liqueur. It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyways. So, yeah, a lot of good restaurants. They have Tortilla Joe's.
What? Is that Italian?
Didn't we talk about this?
We did.
Yes.
We didn't talk about how... I'm sorry, go ahead, Tortilla Joe's, and we'll come back.
No, I mean, it's so in downtown Disney, they have a lot of good food options.
Mamma mia, get this burrito, is that? Yeah. Is that?
So the joke was, when we walked by Tortilla Joe's, I was being silly, and I was like, Tortilla Joe's! And Austin was like, it's Mexican, not Italian. But we did eat there. It's one of those places where they make your guacamole at your table.
My wife loves that.
Oh, so that place was really good. But the dining reservations, we made some. And then we ended up changing a lot. It's not like Disney World where you have to book the dining so far out. There's so many options, and it's less crowded, so you can get into more restaurants. I think it's like 70% of the people that go to Disneyland are local residents. So if you think about it, those people that are going, they're not in a mad rush to get everything done.
Right.
They're there all the time. They're just walking around. So
be cool.
That is kind of a different feel, you know.
More laid back.
More laid back, slow moving. Yeah.
Not so many people saying, we're on a vacation, you're going to have fun.
Right, no.
Let's get to this ride.
People coming in for a few hours and going back home or, you know. So yeah, it's opening at the end of April to California residents. Hopefully in the next few months it'll open to everyone else. So
don't mess it up, California residents. People want to get out there.
I will tell you what our plan is for spring break next year.
Oh,
we haven't booked it yet, but this is our plan in action. We want to go to Aulani, which is in Hawaii, which is going to be another episode. And then on the way home, break up our jet lag with a couple nights at Disneyland. So that's a good way to do it because it's on the West Coast. You can break up your jet lag flight and hit up Disneyland for a couple nights when we're coming back.
Oh, that's a long flight.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's kind of our thought. We have another 2-week spring break next year, so.
I mean... This is the privilege podcast.
We don't get a fall break, though. Ooh. We don't get a fall break.
We don't get a fall break either.
You know?
That's not a thing in JCPS.
Yeah, it is.
You get 3 days at Thanksgiving.
I book a lot of fall break trips.
It doesn't mean people don't leave.
No, there's something. Oldham County does.
Is that what I said? Oldham County has it. Bullitt County has it, too, I think.
Oh, okay.
My wife will tell you they do not.
Anyways, local school district, sorry.
Yeah, school district fight. Now, so never being at Disneyland, I will say the lasting memory that they have made in my life is that's where Doritos were invented.
How about that?
Yeah. Tortilla Joe.
Tortilla Joe.
Tortilla Joe. Drop it. He said, come on me. I'll drop a tortilla in the hot dog. And a splash. Oh, delicious.
Yeah, do you know the story on that?
Can you tell what I just said?
Well, so they made Doritos for the park.
They dropped tortillas on accident, right? I think that.
Okay.
Like, it was like, oh, and these are ruined. No, they're better. I think it was one of those. That might
I just
not
knew
be.
they started selling them in the park, and then it
might be wrong.
Thing.
That's like chocolate chip cookies and all that stuff. They're like, we dropped the chocolate chips in the cookies. They're ruined. They're like, wait, they're better.
The story of the pretzel.
Is that what they did with the pretzel?
Yeah, well.
Somebody twisted my pretzel. Italians make everything. I don't know. I had a pretzel stick and you folded in my pretzel stick. Yeah. I don't know the story of Doritos. I'm sorry, but I do know that they were made there, and they were like, these are great.
Yeah. You got to get to Disneyland. I think you would like it.
I do? Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm going to book you there now.
You all, listen, if you want us to go to Disneyland and do a podcast, you send us money. And we will go on vacation to Alani next year. We promise.
And we will
podcast
go live.
We will do the podcast every day. You just send us to Hawaii. So
I think that's a good summary of Disneyland.
Okay.
Lots to do.
It sounds like Disney World, you have your list of we have to do these things. I feel like a lot of people do because they don't get to go all the time. Is there like if you only had one day, what is like the must-dos?
Well, you definitely want to park hop. Mm-hmm. You don't want to just do one park.
Yeah.
Across the concrete. You definitely want to do Cars Land because they don't have that in Disney World. And then, Marvel, that will be big because they don't have that.
It's going to be crazy.
And then Disneyland Park, even though it's so similar to Magic Kingdom, it still feels very different. Mm-hmm. Like the Haunted Mansion looks completely different. The Small World, I didn't talk about that. The Small World is huge.
Oh, ironic.
Huge. It's a huge Small World. So that looks different too. So, I mean, one day, that would be hard. I think we did 4 or 5 days in the park. And that was so nice because we could relax and just...
Yeah.
And we would go back to the pool and swim and go back out at night. So... Yeah.
Well, if only they'd open one out here. But what are you going to do? All right. Well, you got any tips?
There you go. That's hard because it's not quite open yet. But I think as far as getting out there, my tip would be to try to find a direct flight to the LA area, which more and more airports are starting to do now.
I have another question when we're done this. Now, I've already poo-pooed this flight because the one time, I know, every morning, first thing. So if you can get a direct flight, always the way to go.
Yes.
Do they have transportation from their airport?
They do. You pay for it. But we rented a car because we were doing other stuff in LA. But you can Uber or you can take their bus. But once you're there, you don't need one. You don't need any transportation.
Because it's not like the big campus.
Right.
Okay.
No. There was something else I was going to say about that. Oh, my other tip would be to stay in a Disneyland hotel.
Well, yeah.
It's tempting to do those Good Neighbor hotels because they're so close and affordable. But the Disneyland hotels are really special and so convenient to go in and out of the park.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not the Cecil Hotel. We'll talk about it in a minute. But, so, did you think of a close this last week? Something to send them home?
Thanks for listening.
Nailed it. All right.
If you would like me to book and plan your next trip for free, click the link in the description below. Thank you and have a magical day.